Hi there, I'm Kimberly Kennedy, and for the past 25 years I've been a television journalist, most recently hosting, producing, and writing my own news and entertainment show in Atlanta. It's been a great career, but after years of telling other people's stories, I decided it was finally time to tell my own. My story really started in the summer of 1996 when the Olympics came to Atlanta. I had just gotten engaged. Well, I'll let Diane Sawyer start things off.
In the category of how bad could it be, try this. Her fiance backs out at the rehearsal dinner. So what's your next move when the worst happens and your groom takes a honeymoon trip with his own brother?
Kimberly Kennedy, one of America's golden girls.
Good morning, I'm Kimberly Kennedy, and welcome to our Level
An Atlanta news anchor with wit, personality, and an upcoming wedding to the man of her dreams.
I was that close to just having it all.
Her fiancé, a radio executive, proposed after they'd been dating a year, and the gossip column in Atlanta had every detail.
You know, he had proposed, so I assumed that meant we were going to get married. I mean, wouldn't you? My story was part of an ABC primetime special about weddings. Mine was the disaster wedding. You see, I was left at the altar. My fiance's 5 little words, "I just can't do it," would change my life forever. Trust me when I tell you, it's a really good story. A story that I've discovered pretty much everybody can relate to. That's because there probably isn't a person alive who hasn't faced rejection in some form or another. Which is why I wrote my book, published by Thomas Nelson, called Left at the Altar, My Story of Hope and Healing for Every Woman Who Has Felt the Heartbreak of Rejection. I figured, why not use all the things I learned about myself, about men, about relationships, and about God and faith to help others whose hearts are broken.
Welcome to the 700 Club.
Since the book came out, I've made all kinds of radio and television appearances, including the 700 Club. I was this woman here who almost had it all to this woman who had nothing. And I think God let me get there. And I think it grieved him to see me get there. I think he was grieving alongside me, but he knew what was not going to be on the other end, which was a stronger faith in him and a real relationship with him that he wanted me to have. The book's also been featured in People magazine, Christian Singles magazine, and even Woman magazine in the UK. Rejection's rejection, no matter how it happens. And what I've discovered in all these years is that we're all left with these same feelings of unworthiness. You know, what's wrong with me? Why didn't he love me? I must have done something wrong. I'm unlovable. No one will ever love me. God must not love me. And I just think that breaks God's heart, because God thinks we're more than worthy and wonderful, and he wants us to have abundant life. And it's impossible, though, to have that when you are defining yourself by your rejection, which is what I did for a long, long time, and why I wrote the book. I don't want to see other people do the same thing. But what I really love is speaking to people face to face, from churches to corporate events to singles and women just out for a fun, entertaining event. So how do I know that my new mantra, man's rejection, God's protection, can be used in any time you get rejected? Well, sadly, I had to put it to the test last year. I've decided I'm not going to say I got fired. I got replaced on my TV show on Channel 2, which I don't want any of you to watch anymore. Don't watch that show. Don't watch that channel. I did. They replaced me with a woman half my age. Seriously, half my age. I haven't seen her. Is she not as cute as... You can leave that part in. So she's not as cute as I am. Or as good. No, sadly, being left at the altar wouldn't be the last rejection I'd face. So as you heard, the question became, would the principles in my book hold up for any kind of rejection? The answer, a resounding yes. Mine has now become a message of hope for anybody facing rejection, in love, in the workplace, in life. St. Augustine said we were created with a God-shaped hole in our hearts. I just love that, a God-shaped hole in our heart. God-shaped, which means try as hard as we want to, go through as many men and relationships as we want to, but we will never fill that part of our hearts that only God can fill. And I believe that until we can fill that hole, we'll never feel valuable or worthy enough, and we'll never have romantic love the way that God intended. I have learned firsthand that rejection of any kind can be hard. Heck, life can be hard. But when we share our stories, we empower each other.
And she was just so funny and so endearing, and everything that she said, just I can't think of a woman that couldn't relate to it. And I just loved it, and I laughed and got teary a little bit, and it was great.
When you've walked the walk that she has walked, and see her come through, it kind of, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, you know, she's the light.